Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Yunetta Spring, the groundbreaking therapist, and today is Talk It Out Tuesday. We are still in the month of April, which is Stress Awareness Month, and we are continuing our conversation around anxiety. So today on the segment, if you didn't catch it, this is your recap. So this is something I'm doing that's new for the folks who maybe caught the segment and you just want more information, or you didn't catch the segment and you want your recap. Here you go. Here's your recap. So let's go. So today we talked about stress, and we talked about good stress and bad stress. So good and bad stress is just a part of life. It's a part of being human. It's something we all experience. So I wanted to give y'all some examples of what good stress looks like and what bad stress looks like, so we can kind of be able to identify and understand the differences between the two. Right. So we're going to look into some ways to recognize good stress versus bad stress. All right. So good stress is called eustress, literally eustress. Okay. That's what it's called. And good stress or positive stress is it produces like positive chemicals that kind of go through our body. We feel really good. We feel excited. We feel motivated. Good stress can inspire and push you. It can cause you to ignite your passion around certain things. And it can also increase your focus and energy. So good stress will be coming up if you have like a game that you're excited to play, or you have a trip that's coming up, or some sort of presentation where you're feeling really good about it, but you're nervous, but you're feeling really good about it. And you can use that stress to kind of push you to like be the best version of yourself or like show out. Right. So that's good stress. Bad stress, though, is what we consider as distress. So, bad stress or negative stress is overwhelming. So, this is when you feel tired, where you feel worn down. It can make you feel on edge, it can make you feel jittery, and it can be harmful to your health, right? So, distress oftentimes leads to anxiety, it leads to confusion, it leads to poor concentration or poor judgment, and it can decrease your ability to perform in various areas. All right. So, one way that I check whether or not we're operating in eustress or distress, which is the good stress or the bad stress, is really being able to check your beliefs. So, I'm an EMDR therapist. I say that all the time. And one of the key components of EMDR is really being able to look at our negative beliefs and our positive beliefs. So, a great way to check your stress and see which type of stress you're operating in is to look at your beliefs. So, eustress in your positive beliefs will be saying, I can handle this, right? So I may feel like, okay, I got something big coming, but I feel like I'm competent. I feel like I can handle it. I know I can do this, right? I know that I'm capable. That is when you have something coming up that may be causing some good stress. You're ready. You're prepared for what's in front of you, and you're almost looking forward to it to some degree. So distress is when we operate from that negative space, right? And some negative beliefs that you can use to check if you're operating from a distress place is feeling like I can't handle this, believing and telling yourself I can't do this, feeling incompetent or like you're not capable, like what's in front of you is too much for you to be able to navigate or process. That may be an indication that you're operating in some bad stress or some distress. All right. So these are some ways that we can move stress, right? Stress doesn't have to be stagnant. It doesn't have to stay with you. There are so many things that we could do to kind of move and reduce distress and kind of move towards eustress. One of those things are implementing boundaries. So making sure you're not taking on too much, making sure you're not saying yes when you should be saying no. When you take on too much or you're not implementing boundaries, you may find yourself in a position where you feel like you can't do it because you actually can't, because you got too much on your plate. So being mindful of that. The serenity prayer is something that I use with a lot of my clients. And basically it's saying, God, grant me this serenity to accept the things I can't change, the wisdom to change the things the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two. So that can be a good way to kind of gauge and center yourself and help you feel less stressed. having a positive mindset. So I know sometimes it's easier said than done, but your mindset does impact how you feel about yourself, how you look at the world, and how you look at others. So if you have more of a positive mindset, it's more likely that you will feel less stress. The next one is focusing on an internal locus of control. So I have a YouTube video I'll probably add it to this where we talk about focusing on our locus. So ways to focus on our internal locus of control versus our external locus of control, knowing that we can't control the things that happen outside of us, but we do have some form of control over what happens within us. All right. The next thing is to ask for help. Not being afraid to say, hey, I need some support or I need some help, and finding and asking people who you know may be qualified and competent to help you with whatever it is that you're dealing with is a good way to reduce your distress. And then self-care. So y'all know I have a self-care strategy workbook. Let me find it. I'm gonna show it to y'all real quick. Okay. If you haven't seen it, it's one back there, but this is my self-care strategy workbook. It's called Take the Struggle Out of Self-Care, okay? There are all kinds of questions and worksheets for you to identify and notice what areas you need to improve in self-care. See what's getting in your way, what's making it difficult for you to take care of yourself. So the more you care for yourself, the less distress you will feel. So if you're wanting to work on that, go ahead and check out that workbook. Start exploring and looking at your self-care practices so that you can start experiencing some good stress. All right. And then healthy eating, nutrition, and exercise, right? We are a whole person. We are holistic. You know, how well we take care of our temple, ourselves, our body is going to impact our mental health and our mood. So making sure we exercise. Sometimes when we have stress that's built up, just going out for a walk or going for a run or doing some sort of physical activity helps to alleviate that stress, because you actually have allowed the stress to leave your body. By physically exerting yourself is a great way to reduce stress. And then the last one is appropriate rest. Y'all know I love naps. Y'all know I love to rest, and I encourage you to do the same. When you allow your body to take a break, to rest, to decompress, you will relieve stress. Okay. I wasn't trying to make that rhyme, but it did. So we gonna go with it. All right. So this is the anxiety hack. I listed this last week. I'm going to share it with y'all again. So if you're feeling stressed, a good way to ground yourself is by the 5-4-3-2-1 method, looking at 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can feel, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. If you do that in any given time or moment, it is most likely going to reduce the amount of stress and anxiety you have, because it helps to center you. It helps to get you focused on the present moment. And we know that the present is the only moment that we have control over what happens in terms of how we show up or what we do. We can't change what happened in the past, and we can't predict what is going to happen in the future, but we can take a moment in the present to ground ourselves and relieve some of our stress and anxiety. So that's what I have for y'all. That's your Talk It Out Tuesday recap. And as always, if you are looking to strengthen your relationship with yourself and you want to do that with a therapist, I have a directory. It is called the Groundbreakers Therapy Directory, and I'm growing it and building it. And I have therapists all over the country and Canada on the directory. These are specifically trained therapists. They work with trauma. They are trained in EMDR, which is a great approach to help process anything, not just trauma. If you're looking for me, I'm licensed in Tennessee, Idaho, and Kentucky. So be on the lookout. We have some amazing things coming up. We have retreats coming up. There's a retreat that I will add to this that I will be speaking at in Georgia. So if you are a BIPOC entrepreneur, you want to get away to a beautiful space, you want to reset, you want to work on your self-care and improve your business, you can meet me at the retreat. I'll leave it in the notes. And then I have some EMDR retreats coming up in the fall. So I just wanted to leave y'all with all of that information. Thank you so much for listening to the Rickey Smiley Morning Show each and every Tuesday for Talk It Out Tuesday. It is a blessing and joy for me to connect with y'all on that platform. So I'm Yunetta Spring, the groundbreaking therapist, and this is your recap for Talk It Out Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you share it with somebody. Don't be stingy. Don't hoard this information. Share it with somebody who you think may need it. All right, y'all take care.